Good afternoon, everyone. ABC 10 Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods coming to you with the tail end of our latest atmospheric river and what's in store overnight as we head into some clearings. Still some things to be on the lookout for. Are you feeling the energy shift, the hustle and bustle of the holiday season? It just seems like everybody's trying to get somewhere a little faster than normal. And we're going to keep you ahead of all those weather impacts coming into the forecast for the holiday week. Here's a look at the regional-wide view along Donner, Echo, Kingvale, and Twin Bridges. So Donner and Kingvale, trucks are being screened in the high country. For Echo and Twin Bridges, right now, no chain controls in effect. It's still really slick, and we're still seeing some changing conditions. So I would just say if you're headed up to the high country, be aware of the potential for those chain controls to go into effect, at least for this afternoon. We've got the winter storm warning for at least one more hour, and then things will really start to scale back, and pretty rapidly, actually. You can see not widespread activity throughout this year like what we were seeing over the course of the last 36 to 48 hours. Instead, it's very scattered. As we zoom in a little bit closer, most of the valley already starting to see that clearing in place. Moving into the 80-50 corridor, we have areas of scattered rain showers up above. We're looking at snow, and that is on the passes. So even though the roadways look like they're glistening just a little bit, it is currently falling as snow, not rain. North of I-80, we had that winter storm watch in effect, but that actually was expired. And so we're looking at just some spotty snow showers there, just not huge impacts going on north of I-80, even south of Highway 50. Starting to see a little bit better action here for travel conditions, at least along Highway 4, 80, or I should say 88, 89, 120, and even towards the Yosemite area. We're looking at just spotty showers. Mammoth starting to clear as well. I was just checking some 5-day totals for Mammoth, upwards of about 40+ inches of snow. That ski resort is open and ready for business. I have a feeling a lot of the ski resorts will be benefiting from this recent snow. Here's a look at our bigger satellites and radar, and what you're going to notice is that plume of moisture is to the south of the capital region. So it's coming in from the Pacific, really drawing in still a very defined line just south of Fresno. Lots of folks traveling up and down the I-5 corridor here and Highway 99. We've got some slick spots in there, but not as deep as what we could otherwise see into Southern California. So just some periods of some light to moderate showers happening as folks make their out for some very busy holiday travel, and still snowing along 395. That will be in place at least through tonight, heading into the southern Sierra. Good for our water supply, though, right? Since midnight, we've had about 1/10 of an inch of rain. Pretty good downpour coming in today, despite the fact that we didn't see the brunt of the system for this overnight and early morning hours. Our Placerville and Auburn precipitation at about 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. We got nearly an inch for Sonora. Again, that's just since midnight. So that's coming in at just about 12, 15 hours here. Not much left over for the rest of this evening. Only about 1/10 of an inch at best coming in from what's left over on the tail end of the second atmospheric river. Our model snowfall totals, we'll be lucky to get about an inch. It's really starting to scale back. So just a few flurries here and there. That doesn't mean we won't find the travel impacts. As you know, volumes of traffic up in the high country and a little bit of snow can cause some delays. But the future moisture, it's already pulling back into the Pacific, where you'll notice right here in kind of that aqua color, if you will, that we had this big plume of moisture coming into California. Now it's starting to pull back into the Pacific, which will lead us to drier weather ahead. However, it's going to get pretty cold. We got some patchy fog out there as well overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, mostly from about Sacramento southward and towards the Delta. If you're planning on heading out perhaps after sunset and trying to get a jump on some of the traffic, just be aware patchy fog all the way through tomorrow morning as well along I-5 and Highway 99 into the northern San Joaquin Valley. This is what visibility is looking like. Now, the fog doesn't stick around long for Sacramento. Visibility down to about a mile tomorrow morning, down to about 1/4 of a mile for Stockton. Again, this is just after midnight. You'll see how quickly it erodes for Sacramento. By tomorrow morning, just after sunset, we'll be back to 12-mile visibility. Hangs in just a little bit longer for Stockton and Modesto, but we're going to see pretty rapid clearing after that. Almost everybody expecting sunny skies for tomorrow. but it's because of these gusty winds that will develop on the back edge of a departing weather system. We're seeing wind gusts up to about 20 miles per hour in some places. These are dry and warming winds, so we really only have the opportunity of that patchy fog overnight tonight into early tomorrow. And then we're not so much dealing with the fog. We'll start to see those clearing skies. Winds actually start to back off, but it's because of these developing weather conditions, clear skies, light winds, and a cold air mass that we get into the patchy frost. And that's how we'll start off our Thanksgiving. It will be a chilly start to our Turkey Day, and then beautiful conditions for the afternoon with sunny skies. Friday and Saturday, once again, expect those areas of patchy frost out there, a little bit slick in spots, but we won't have to deal with the fog, which is certainly nice. This is a look at the region-wide view on Thanksgiving morning. 32 degrees for Elk Grove, 33 for Marysville, 32 for Fairfield. We'll see some chilly conditions in the Delta there as we head into the foothills. Also quite cold in the 30s, but nothing like the Sierra, where we start off at 9 degrees for Truckee and South Lake Tahoe. With all the fresh powder up there, it is going to be absolutely stunning. Frost advisory goes into effect for tonight. That'll take us through Thursday morning. So be aware of that if you're headed over towards the coast. We will have some frosty conditions there as well. Lows over the next 7 days. Once we get into these cold overnight lows, we're kind of stuck in that weather pattern. Patchy fog tomorrow morning, right around 39 degrees. But with the clearing skies, once we have those north winds that really erode some of the moisture that would otherwise keep us a little bit warmer, we have optimal cooling, and that's what gets us into the 30s to right around the freezing mark here into the holiday weekend. Next week, a little bit warmer, but overall, we're going to stay below average for our at least overnight lows. The deal with the afternoon highs. We have been sitting unseasonably cool for several days, and we're going to see that moderate just a little bit. We have a building ridge of high pressure, which will keep us dry and also just a tad warmer. Our storm track, which has been favoring bringing everything coming in from the Pacific to move right along that I-80 line and even in parts of Southern California, is starting to shift a little bit. We have a building ridge of high pressure, like I said, and that's going to bump that storm track to the north of us. So even if you are traveling into the Pacific Northwest along I-5, traveling northbound, say to Portland, Seattle, or even into just over the border into Medford, we actually have great travel weather for once. It feels like we've been stuck in a very stormy and unsettled weather pattern, but things are starting to dry out and just in time for the holiday weekend. Speaking of that, just in time, ski resorts are open. We've got Mammoth, Mount Rose, Heavenly, North Star, Sugar Bowl, Palisades, Tahoe, and Boreal. Just about a week ago or so, we were talking about, so much machine-made snow. They're able to open early now. We got help from Mother Nature. Sierra Tahoe coming online November 29th, so hopefully this weekend. Kirkwood, December 6th, so not too far behind there. Taking a look at some snowfall totals, it has been a whopper of a week for atmospheric rivers. The big one, at least for Northern California, started up last Wednesday, took us through early Saturday. Then we got that little break, remember that, on Sunday, and then the second one came into right around Central and Southern California, but we still got precipitation. So looking at just what we've seen over the past week or so, 49 inches of snow for Boreal. That is all fresh powder, ready to welcome all of the holiday visitors. Sierra Tahoe, not quite open yet, but pretty soon here, 36 inches. Palisades Tahoe open for business, 35 inches, and North Star with 20 plus inches of fresh powder coming in. Rainfall totals for downtown Sacramento. The big day for us was Friday, that being as well for Sacramento Executive. That particular day had record-setting daily rainfall at about 2 inches. That's what really boosted these totals above what we normally see for the entire month of November. We added to that Saturday mostly, Sunday was dry into Monday. Now, the northern San Joaquin Valley was a little bit different because we really didn't benefit as much from that first round of rain coming in. Stockton and Modesto just about a trace to under 1/10 of an inch Wednesday into Thursday. Friday was a bigger day, but nothing like what we saw for the capital region. We got closer to about 3/10 to 3/4 of an inch of rain. Saturday and Sunday, however, were bigger days for Stockton and Modesto because that second atmospheric river that we're still dealing with for today was poised a little bit to the south and hit Central California a little bit more. All things told, you can see the totals here. Not bad for November, certainly. Statewide precipitation equally as impressive. We finally started to put some more rain in the bucket there for Stockton and Modesto, coming up to almost near average. San Francisco, Sacramento, about 1.5 inches ahead of where we normally are this time of year. Redding and Eureka, over 5 to 7 inches ahead of normal. Our normal, by the way, if you're watching us not in California, we talk about the water year, which begins October 1st. It runs all the way through the following year, September 30th. So that's kind of how we measure our precipitation here. It's not necessarily a calendar year. It's the water year, October 1st of one year, all the way through the following year, September 30th. Looking at our average monthly rainfall. Now, this is where things get a little bit tenuous in terms of storing our water. November, we usually get less than 2 inches of rain. We are about to head into our wettest 3 months of the year. It accounts for 50% of our annual precipitation. So water managers have been watching these atmospheric rivers very carefully because they want to store enough water for the dry season, but they also want capacity to allow for what is possibly going to be coming in December, January, and February. And that's where we get into our major reservoir supply levels. Everything is looking fantastic. We're still with plenty of capacity, even for our smallest reservoir on this list, Folsom, 35% full right now. And our percent of average, we're still running right about at or above average. Again, things are looking pretty good. By the way, Northern California has the biggest reservoirs, Shasta and Oroville, and those are looking very healthy right now. As we move our way southward, these are continuing to see a little bit more inflow right now. New Melones, Don Pedro, just simply because of the trajectory of the current atmospheric river. We're still above average, though, and still about 70 to 75% full. San Luis, 54% full, and then Millerton, a little bit farther to the south again, mostly being hit right now with some of the recent atmospheric river activity. I was looking at all of the reservoirs, trying to see inflow, outflow, because if you happen to go by the river, if you're up along the levee, perhaps taking that wonderful post-Thanksgiving turkey walk or run, you'll see that it's running really high. A lot of debris in the Sacramento River right now, and that's because there are releases being done out of the reservoirs, but they're also allowing for a lot of inflow. So there's not the huge amounts of water coming down, but it's certainly higher than what we were seeing just 2 weeks ago. Here's a look at Oroville, and you can see how much it's come up even within the last week or so. Total capacity, 3.4+ million acre feet. Right now, we are under 2 million acre feet. There's a lot of room to grow that reservoir in terms of our water volume, and it's a little bit below what it was in 2023-24, but last year was a huge year for our reservoirs. Satellite and radar, again, showing the big plume of moisture off in the Pacific right now, starting to kind of wind down. It still has a little bit of juice left to it, but as we head towards Thanksgiving, 2 days away, things are going to be drying out. And right after that, we get into our winter solstice. Then it's Christmas Day. Can you believe we're 36 days away from ringing in the new year? Hard to believe, but the busy travel season is here. Throughout California, Thanksgiving Day, 50s and 60s to the north, including San Francisco, Monterey 63. Fresno, we're a little bit cool at 57. Once we get into Southern California, we hit those 60s and 70s. Should be beautiful, though. Sunshine will prevail throughout much of the state. Just watch out for a little bit of periodic patchy fog out there. Best time to travel if you haven't hit the roads yet. Well, you still have time. Thanksgiving morning, according to AAA, is the best time. The worst time, it's going to be tonight through tomorrow. I'm sure, for some of us, that's just what we have to do. If you're flying, best time is going to be Thanksgiving morning and Sunday morning. Although Sunday, once we get past those really early morning flights, very likely going to be impacted heavily. And the worst time, all day Wednesday. Oh, just pack your patience if you're headed to the airport. I'm sure you've been hearing all the stories about air traffic controllers being down in terms of our numbers being able to staff. So they're saying just be prepared for travel delays. National highs, well, looks pretty good here across California. San Diego, a high of 70, Sacramento 55, Phoenix 75 as we head over towards the desert southwest. Once we get into the intermountain west, we do have some snow showers moving through. Denver up to 36 degrees, Chicago only 36 as well, pretty chilly there. New York City, 48. Oh, it's so fun to be in New York this time of year with all the holiday decorations. Florida looking good. Look at that. Orlando 83, as well as Miami. However, Sunshine State not so sunny here for parts of the holiday weekend. Here's a look at what we're expecting. Our weather system moves into Denver for tonight into tomorrow. We'll just see some lingering impacts there. Looks like the Great Lakes, at least for Chicago, big hub at Chicago O'Hare, will be just shy of seeing some of those snow showers, but rain moving through Atlanta, and then that presses its way southward into Friday for our Florida forecast, and then also some snow periodically through New England. But again, Chicago O'Hare looks pretty dry here. Denver also dry on the back edge of all that holiday travel, but on Sunday could see some bigger impacts across New England. 8 to 14 day climate outlook. We're going to be in a likely warmer setup for the first week of December. All that colder air is shifting its way east. And as far as the rain and snow that we've been seeing, we're going to hit the pause button right now, likely drier into the first week of December. That should actually be pretty good, though, for the ski resorts. At least they'll have some time to perhaps clean out from some storm damage that may have occurred just from the volume of snow coming in and the different types of snow. Just kind of looking out for those areas of danger. Highs for tomorrow in the Sierra will be in the 30s after starting off in the teens. We're in the 50s throughout the foothills. For the Bay Area, highs will be near 60 as we head inland, low 60s. So yes, we are starting off a little bit cool, patchy fog, but highs will be pretty nice here with mostly sunny skies. We've got it in the 50s. Again, northwest winds, though, periodically a bit gusty. We're dry through the holiday weekend for the Sierra. Highs are going to be in the 30s for tomorrow, but we warm into the 40s after that. For the foothills, highs in the 50s to almost 60 by Saturday and Sunday, and we'll be in the 60s along the coast with mostly sunny skies there as well. Our 3-day forecast will showcase those cold overnight lows starting to settle in Thursday into Friday with highs warming into the 50s. We're going to stay in the 50s for quite some time here. Turkey Day looking wonderful for afternoon highs, and I don't know about you, it's always nice to get a little bit of fresh air with all the cooking and the people in the house. So 30s may not be so bad, just to kind of cool things off there. We're looking dry, though, for the next 10 days. So things are actually looking really good for us for some travel weather. But we will be ahead of all those frosty conditions. We're going to be keeping you posted right here on ABC 10 Plus and have those extended forecasts going when we need them. In the meantime, we'll turn you back to our ABC 10 Plus streaming channel.